Hey, Blue Table fans, remember these guys? Scourgelands Survivors, which is a 3D print set. I'm not sure who made it and licenses it, but here it is, and I had a blast painting it. First, it's made out of this really hard resin. It's like a rock hard plastic, but it has this tiny little bit of flexibility that keeps it from snapping too easily. Alright, so this set has what's called a battle prawn in it, and it's a really cool creature. I've got a lot of different subtle colors on him, probably at least 5 layers all around. And the base is really cool. It comes with a custom base to it, and I wanted him to be leaping, so I put a rod in there, and as I tried to drill the hole, the drill bit got red hot, and that's how hard this stuff is. So, but it's not a bad thing. It's really light, but you definitely couldn't convert this stuff. Like you're not going to be clipping it and filing it and repositioning it. That is not what this is like. So anyway, love the battle prawn. It's an olive military green with a khaki highlight. And as I tried to figure out, these guys have this organic armor on them. And as I tried to figure out how to paint it, I went through a couple of test runs. First, I ate dessert first and did this leader looking guy. And I did him in a very dark blackish blue color. And that's highlighted with an ivory color. And a green shield and a hull red cloak. So he's kind of all over the place. In the end, he works. I like him. I didn't want to change him to the final armor that I chose. And then you got this gal here, and she has an earth color on her armor, which has several ups and downs of khaki on it. And then I did sort of a bluish gray on her axe, which is obviously very organic. But I still wasn't satisfied with that. So in the end, what I went with is this. And this is the next guy I painted. I went with an olive green, like a military green, but instead of like a yellowish highlight, I did khaki, which is very much an ivory with a slight green tone to it. And then it worked just like a charm. They all have these necklaces on them, and I interpreted those as jade beads just to give them a little bit of color. By the way, I'm not great at faces. I usually pass that off to an artist that's better than me. So these guys, their faces aren't great. Anyway, so I love this armor. There's these two guys with these bug eye lens helmets, and I love those. I'd much rather paint those than faces, and they're really cool. By the way, this is all for Valhalla in the fall. Very excited to run my Badlands D&D game for that. Let's take a look at a couple more of these. We've got an archer, and this guy, is it a gal? Yeah, there's a couple of women in here. It's almost half and half. I think there's 4 women figures. Anyway, the archer, really love him. He's very striking. Obviously, I used a darker skin tone, which turned out really well. And he obviously has the armor the same. And I counterpointed him with this cavalry brown, basically like a reddish brown cloak. So lots of earth tones on these guys, lots of different hair colors. The white was originally just going to be a base coat for something else, but in the end, I just left her hair white. Then you have this, I don't know, is she like a druid? Is that a plant that she's, that she just caused to come up? Is it a staff? I really don't know. I'm going to figure that out later. But anyway, this model is really cool. This is who I'm interpreting as the captain. He has this interesting gun, which I'm going to give some really cool in-game effects to. This giant 2-handed sword. Yeah, this guy's awesome. He's super dynamic. And then this is my least favorite one. I just did the quickest job possible and just got her done. Some sort of sorceress. I don't know. The scale was weird. The model just really didn't speak to me very much. And then you have this little larva dude there. And I think that's all. There's 10 infantry, and then the terrain piece, and this giant battle prawn. And for the bases, I did black with dark gray, and then London gray on top of that. I really wanted the bases to be very plain. I originally was going to do them desert, but that competed too much with the other warm earth tones on them. So I just worked in some charred brown wash, some whole red wash, just to make it not completely gray. And I am going to add some tufted foliage to them, and I think that will make these bases look really cool. So I'm excited. Guys, this is a really cool set. I'm loving the 3D printed stuff. It's really fantastic, and would love to definitely do more of these. Oh yeah, and then this little insect burrow thing, which is really cool. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you got your inspiration for the day.